three ends we have hidden, and we start joining together the pieces. Starting from the sides we join like this along the perimeter, then here we will join it with the bottom and then with the back side with a flap. So let's start. First, we take a darning needle, insert our cord here. I have cut approximately 1 meter 20-30 centimeters. I think that will do. That's it. And so now we need to start sewing. It's really easy to sew because here we have this trimming. We can see the braids well. We will be sewing starting here under both half loops, one on one side and one on the other side. So here it's important to start the first. As we had a trimming and on the corners we made 2 stitches into one, so we see that on the corner we logically have to start with this one, the first one on the corner. We skip and we start with the second here, which were an increase. So here insert the needle into one half loop from the inside. This free end we will hide later. And then here insert it from the outside on the side. So now we can put it one next to the other and go on working likewise from the inside here and from the outside in the next one. And the next one. You can do it in one go like this. Like this, it will be even easier, I think. I'll show you several more stitches and you will see. So you hold this one next to the other, insert it here from the outside and the next from the inside, like this. So that the needle goes under both half loops. And so like this you go on working, joining the side and the front part, and go on working till the corner where we will be joining the bottom. And so like this we join it, and I want to show you at once that the most important thing is so that we end in the same place, so that the corner of the side and the corner on the front part are matching. So find this corner where you had 2 stitches and one where you had an increase. So I see this increase here. I mark this one on this side, and it will be joined with the stitch that also was an increase on the corner here with this one. I'll also mark it on this side, and that's where we have this increase. We choose the one that's to the left side, closer to the left side. They will be matching like this. And so we go on working till the markers. Here, don't work too tight. You see what a nice cord we have, what a nice seam that resembles a cord. Because here it looks really nice, and the process of sewing is really easy. So just a simple stitch that gives such an interesting result. I think it's great. You see, sometimes I pierce the cord, so make sure you don't pierce the cord in the middle, you just pick it like this. So I have almost finished, and now we need to join these two stitches together with the bottom. So we need to join it to the side and to the front part like this. We need to find the corner on the bottom as well, like this. And I also want to pay your attention to this fact that here we have an increase on the corner. So this one on the left, where we made an increase, will be together with this one, with the side, like this. Here, with the second stitch here. So that the corners are matching. And this is for this side, but the one on the right here, the increase, one of the two that is to the right, will be joined with the front part, so we join it now. Okay, let's insert it like this. Here on the corner, it doesn't matter really how you join it on the corner, just make sure you don't have a hole, make sure you have joined it tight, and insert it here and return it like this. Let me see, next from the marker, and return it here. I'll take off this marker so it won't. So now we have joined the corner, and we can go on joining either here on the side, like this. So we go on working around this side. Here we also need to control the stitches to make sure that they will be matching and that the corners will be matching, which is more important. So we can mark where we had an increase, where we had 2 stitches into one. We mark the one that is to the right, this one. You see, this one will go to the bottom, and that second one to the left will be already on the other side. So we mark it here for the bottom. I'll mark it as well. Here also we have 2, so you choose the one that is to the right, not the just insert the marker to make sure that you will match these stitches. And that will go on the other side as well. Okay, so here we just go on working likewise, stitch by stitch in every half loop, one on one side, one on the other side. Here from the outside and there from the inside, like this. And here where I have markers, I'll also join the stitches. I see that they are matching, so it's okay. And then we will start joining the back side. So we take the next piece, it's the back side together with a flap. Here we also need to join it on the long angle. Here we choose one of the increased stitches. You see, we choose one that is to the left. Then insert the hook into the bottom next to the marker. Return it where the pink marker is, the previous one. I'll take off the markers. And so we have to join this side. Here we will finish. And last stitch will be here. You see this braid? Where the braid ends, where the trimming ends, there we'll make the last. Yeah, so here we'll make the last joining stitch. So we go on working likewise. And meet you when we finish this row. Here one side, one half loop on one side, one on the other side. Like this, so go till the end of this trimming. And then here I'll show you how to finish this. So I have one more stitch to make, or maybe two. Yeah, you see I have 2 stitches left. Here it's not very easy to make it. I'll make it like into this one. And the last one here, just because I have 1 stitch left, I'll join it here. That's it, one side is ready. Now we need to finish it. Here we have this free end. We can first insert it inside like this, hide it behind several stitches on the wrong side, and then sew the end as we usually do. So we continue working on the bottom, so we'll work around the bottom. Here I have already fixed a new cord. I have put it through several stitches, then I'll sew the end. And here we do the same principle. Yeah, make sure that your corners will match. It will be easier if you put markers here onto the corners to make sure that it is the same. This can be by counting the stitches, these two. So let's count. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17, and 17 is the corner, and here as well. Not starting with this one because this we have already used. The next one here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17. Here, insert it in the 17th stitch, and that's going to be the matching stitch for this one. So you need to make one stitch next to the other. So let's start. Here we'll insert, let me see, here I have the first one that I have already used. I'll make a stitch into it again. Then this one. Just to avoid a hole, I'll make one more stitch into it, although I have already made a stitch into it from the side and bottom. Let's see. Yeah, and now let's start here. Pierce one on this side and here. And now one next to the other till the end of this row. Here, just make sure that you do not pierce the cord in the middle. Just insert the needle into the holes, into the openings. So we go on working till the marker. Here in the corner we make a stitch into the loops where the markers are. Insert the working thread into the loop where the violet marker was, here where the red marker is. So on the corner we need to join it with the side again. Here on the corner we have two increases, 2 stitches. So we need to insert it here, then pierce it with another. Wait, here, this one, yeah, the second one of the increase here. Like this. And then we can return it back on the side. And then go on joining it with the side and the bottom. Just likewise. I'll turn it like this. Again, we will put markers where we need to finish, where the matching stitches will be on the corner. So here we have these increases. We choose the one here. Here mark this one, and here the last, here. So the first and the second, so we need this one. So like this, let's count to check the number of stitches. So this we have already used. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's matching. Okay. Go on working likewise here. Sew together the bottom and the side, and we'll meet when we have finished this row. I make the last stitch into these stitches. I'll take off the red marker now into the one that has a violet marker in it. And then we will join it with backside, form this corner, insert it into the increase here, into the first stitch of an increase here. That's to the left if you look at it like this. And so here, follow the same principle. I need to fasten it somehow, otherwise it's difficult to hold it. Tighten this first one so that it remains in place, and then we just follow the same principle till the end of the bottom. And then we will make one more seam on the side. So bottom is ready, side is ready. I'll take off this marker, don't need it. So now we need to make first this side and then separately the other side. All the free ends that we have here I have cut and sewn. Here I will fix the thread and at once sew it. Fix it under several stitches. I'll put it here. Like this I sew the free ends. So I have sewn the ends, and now we can make last several stitches here. The same principle. Make sure that you don't have a hole here. If you have, you can make just one additional stitch. Here you don't have hard rules. Here you can make additional stitch if you see it will be better this way. Just make sure it's symmetrical, no holes. So we go on working upwards. And I have almost finished this seam. Finish in the last stitch here. Here you can finish it a bit earlier, or just let me see. Yeah, if you see that you want to make one more, it will look better here. If you see that it has such a hole. So here I see that I will make one more stitch and now it will look nicer, yeah? So we have sewn the base. We have sewn the front, side, bottom, the sides. Now we only have to make the last stitch according to the same principle here. Make a seam here, starting from the corner and going upwards, finishing here where the flap is attached on the same level. Make sure it's symmetrical on the same level where you have finished it on the other side. And then we will start working on the flap. So I have sewn a last part here, and so that it looks nice, here I will just make one more stitch to fix it, to make sure it's fixed like in the second stitch here next to the flap. Let's have a look. And just to fix it right, to make it symmetrical, one more stitch. So now here, if you look at this part, you see that on this side it finishes here. On this level, and let's move it here so that it's here where we have finished. So that's right. We hide free ends, sew them with some sewing thread, and now we will make trimming for the flap. The base for the back is ready. And now I will show you how to make and join the short handle and how to make the trimming on the flap. So for the short handle, you will need 2 such clasps, half circles, and for the handle we will make it approximately 18 to 20 centimeters. So first, leave a longer end, which you will then use to join the handle to the back, to the clasps first and then to the back. So the first loop on the hook we make as we usually do, as I have shown you, all the same. Here I'm using 5.5 millimeter hook. For the handle we work loose, not tight. And when I have made first, we cast on 6 chains. Don't make them tight. 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. Then fold it like this to make a circle so that the braid is inside under the first loop here. Pull the working thread and make a joining slip stitch. And so we move in the circle and make in each stitch, in each loop here, 1, 2, then 3, 4. It will be able to see it as you start. And so you go on working in spiral, making the handle. I'll show you. Zoom in like this, I'll try. Pull the working thread and through the loop at once. Don't make it tight. So you can already see the pattern of the handle. If you want to make a thicker or vice versa thinner handle, then you can cast on more stitches or less to make it thinner or thicker. Or you can tighten it a little bit more and it will be narrower, yeah? Or take a smaller hook. So here you can vary the size of the handle as you like it. And so like this, we work about 18 to 20 centimeters, and then we'll meet. I'll show you how to attach it to the clasps. So I have made a handle. Let's measure. It's about 19 centimeters. Okay, so here you stop at any place where you like the length of the handle. Leave slightly longer thread. And then take a darning needle. Insert it into one. So make several stitches. Here you need to insert the needle into this half circle, and on this side into the handle, like this. So you make a loop, yeah? Now again, into this half circle. So make several stitches so that it's in place. And I think maybe one more and it will do. And once again, just to make it look finished. So, and then this free end you hide inside the handle under several stitches, but it's better to do this with a hook. Likewise, we sew the other end. Here you need to make the same part of a handle, so have a look where you have attached this one. So likewise here, so that they are symmetrical. Likewise on the other side you make the other half loop, half circle, so that they are on one side. This cord is really soft, that's why it's easy to pierce it through. Just make sure you don't pierce it. I can't say it's a big mistake, but just try not to pierce the cord in the middle. Try to insert the needle in the openings between. Just pierce it here. Here 3 maybe will do, but I'll make just one more for symmetry. Now we need to take a smaller hook, about 4.5 millimeters, and insert it to hide the free end inside the handle. Sew the free ends, cut them and sew them to the base as we usually do with the free ends. Hide free ends, cut them, sew them, and the handle is ready. And then we will join it to the flap. So I'll show you how I sew the free end. Usually I don't cut it at once. I first fix it here with several stitches. Just like this, no knots needed. Just make several stitches. It's really easy to pierce this cord because it's soft. Like this, several times. Cut the thread. And right here pierce it with a needle and cut the sewing thread several stitches, and you can cut it and be sure that the free end will stay put there. So repeat with the other free end likewise. Now when your handle is ready, you need to sew it to the flap like this. Just try it on so that you like how it looks. It'll be difficult to show you on the camera because somehow like this you choose the place. Of course you make it symmetrical. Here you can also make it wider or narrower. So here it's up to you where you place the handle. I usually make it like here, a bit closer to the edge. Let's try it. Somehow like this. Yeah, I think that here it will do. On this level, pierce it with my darning needle here where I want to start it. Pull the thread, leave a small end here, we'll hide it later, and likewise sew it through the flap here and insert it to the other side like this. Pierce the flap and make the stitches. Next opening, also pierce the flap outside through the half circle and pierce inside. This seam usually looks nice, but if you use, for example, boucle, then it will be invisible at all. So here don't worry about this seam. When you add boucle, it will hide it absolutely. You see that here I have a little gap, so I will make one more stitch just to hide this gap. into this opening. So here you can cut the cord, then hide the free end, as we usually do. And likewise, according to the same principle, sew the other side. So here just make sure that you make it on one level, so you start and end sewing the handle on the same row as here, as on this side. So the handle is already sewn to the flap and the bag is ready, but now we will make trimming for the flap. As I said, I'm going to make such a decoration, add boucle cord. I'm going to do it in 2 strands, so we need to find the end and take to start with, take the half, or you can find the other end inside. Here it will be easier. Now I'll try it, so that you can work in 2 strands at once. You can work from 2 skeins, it would be perfect, or you can try and find the second. Oh, you see, I can't find it. Okay, then I just take half of the skein and then work from 2 skeins in 2 strands. It will be easier to work in 2 strands like this. When you have made 2 small bundles, now I take 2 strands and we'll start our trimming. When I was making the pink bag, I was starting here like this in zigzag, and so we will go on working like this. But first I'll make the trimming around the flap, and then we'll work like this. I think that this way it will look even better. So I'll start working here. Insert the hook. Here you can start into this half loop, 2 half loops, or you can start under the stitch. I'll start here. I think that the cord is enough, so it will cover the stitch, whole stitch, not only half loops. Pull the thread, and so like this we'll make single crochets into each next opening between the stitches. Here don't need to make it too tight, work loose, make it loose and puffy like this into each stitch, and the puffier it will look, the better it is, right? So here we try to make it loose and fluffy. Yeah, so here you don't have to follow the rule how you make this. Here you just see whether it looks nice or not, and you make sure that you don't have holes in between. Here you can make a stitch in every stitch, in every opening, or in every other opening. Here it doesn't matter really, it's up to you how you make it. Just now I will go around, and you can also make sure that you make it rounded. If you make it longer stitches here, it will be rounder. If you make the stitches shorter, it will look more like rectangular. So here it's also up to you. Now I have almost finished this side of a flap. here, yeah, till this point, and here we'll make a row and go to the other side and then come back here where we have started. Here, by the way, we can make a stitch right here where we were adjusting the handle. I think it will be a good idea. Wait. 2 strands, make sure you grab 2 strands at once. And here the last stitch maybe. So we have reached this edge where the flap ends, and now we need to move along this row so that we can work in slip stitches here along this row, this one, and go to the other side. Also here we don't work in every opening. Here you can work in every other, for example, or you can even skip 2. For this cord it's okay, I can skip even 2 openings, insert in the 3rd. Just make sure you make long stitches here. And so here, go till place where we have started. I have reached this point where I have started. So here, have a look. While I haven't moved forward, here you can make it like this. Here, it's important to finish it seamless, so you can make one more stitch in the same opening where you have started the first stitch. So now we need to make a turn and go like this in zigzags. We'll move along this line. So I insert the hook into the next opening, make a longer loop here, insert it, and like this. And start this row. Wait a bit, I think I have lost one strand. Where is... aha, yeah, here is the one. And here you go on working the stitches along this row. Work in zigzags like this, not in one line but in zigzags. You see, this row, then here. When it's ready, it will not be visible where these loops were. Just don't make holes. So here you can make stitches as you like I do in zigzags or according along one row. Just make sure you don't make holes. Like this, see? Backwards in this row, then in one row below. In this row, and just like the effect which it gives. Here I recommend you to have good light, turn on some reading lamp or something so that you can see it better where these rows are. And then as you go, it will be easier. It will be easier to work in along one row, because here I had longer stitches. That's why I needed to make these zigzags, otherwise I would have holes. And then you can already start working just along one row here and there. If you don't like how it looks, if you think that you want to make it thicker, so that you kind of don't have what you see here, for example, I don't quite like, so we'll undo it and try again. So what's wrong here? Let's have a look. Stitch here, and then perhaps I will have to make it in this row so that I don't have this opening between the rows. If you don't see, if you see that you have holes, you can just add one more row of this trimming. And so like this, you move now one row after the next, and then I'll show you how we finish the trimming. So I was working like this in zigzags, and I have made it till the handle. Here I have already done the trimming, so here I just have to fill this space between this handle here and there, and this part of it. Here you can make slightly longer loops. And so go on working row after row, back and forth. It's really quick to add this boucle. Just make sure you don't make holes. If you make a stitch in every opening between the stitches, then there will be no holes at all. For example, like I do now. So here, first of all, you go on working and you look how it turns out. If you like the result, then it's okay. So you have to fill all the rest of the space that you have left. If you need to make thicker, make thicker. If it's enough for you to make it in every other stitch, make it in every other stitch. Here, let's have a look. I have an opening here, just need to find out here. Like this, and now let's go to this row. Turn the work and go along this row till the end. So I have finished this part, and now I will make a longer free end. and hide it inside. I'll take a smaller hook somehow like this, pull it through to the other side. Here now you can hide it behind several stitches, like for example here. And then sew the free end and cut it. Here I also have several free ends, I have to sew them, and then we will start adjusting the magnetic button. So the flap is already done, bag is almost ready and almost looks finished. Now we have only to add the magnetic button, this one. I have a thin one, about 1.5 centimeters. So take some thread in matching color, the upper part goes here, you sew it like a button, and the lower part here. So first you sew this one, and here you need to find the center of the flap first, like this. And then you start with sewing it to the flap, like this, piercing through. If you have a color that matches the color of the bag, then you just pierce it, sew it like ordinary button. Here, come back. First stitch I make piercing through, and now you can just, although yeah, you can pierce it through, or you can just sew it to the inside. Just make sure that it looks okay on the outside. And so like this, you sew each corner. Then I'll cut this thread and start a new thread on a new corner. Or you can just pierce it. Yeah, you can just pierce it through. I think it will be okay. And sew this corner. So the upper part of magnetic button is ready. You can now close it and make a note. Mark it somehow where you're going to make your lower part. You kind of close it like it's going to be, like you want it to be, on which level. Have a look where it should be. I see that I have to sew it somewhere here. Somewhere here, yeah. You can put a marker, or you can just take some pin and pin it in place. Just remember which corner you have pinned. This one, for example, yeah. Remember that it's going to be the lower corner of this magnetic button. You can even pierce it through the magnetic button at once so that you see. Just a second. And like this. Yeah. So you see that you have to make it approximately here. You sew it to this part. Sew it likewise like I did with the upper part. And so you sew each corner, several stitches for each corner. So our bag is ready, and now we only have to sew the lining in the bag. First we need to measure the bag and then cut the lining and sew it into the bag. As it has such a trapeze shape, so the lining will be a little bit more difficult, not just a rectangle that you can measure on the upper part of a bag. But here I'm going to use the easiest option for the lining. I know that a lot of you don't like to make something special for the lining, so likewise, I don't like making something difficult for the lining, so we'll make the easiest option. We need to measure two places here, upper part, and here the widest part. And so I take measuring tape and start measuring here on the corner. Remember where you have started measuring. Go along the upper perimeter. Measure nice here along the surface, because it will be a catastrophe if you don't have enough fabric. Better make it a little bit bigger than smaller. So here you measure carefully, maybe you can even add 1 centimeter of seam allowance extra, 42 centimeters. So the width of my upper part of a bag is 42 centimeters, but as the lining will consist of 2 parts, it will be divided by 2, it will be 21 centimeter. And plus I add 3 centimeters for seam allowance. That's 1.5 centimeter on each side. That's for making seams on the sides. That will be 24 centimeters. It's the width of my fabric. I'll show you on the drawing, you will understand. And the width in the middle, okay, let's say lower part, we'll measure the middle, not the lower part, not the bottom, but the middle of the bag. So we need to find the widest part of the bag. It will be in the middle here. It's a little bit difficult to do this, and it's difficult for me to show it on camera, I mean, because you have to insert the measuring tape inside, and like we did on top, you can measure first on this side, just add these sides if it's difficult to insert the measuring tape. So let's do it. I think it's really difficult to measure it inside. Right, so here I have 21 centimeter. Okay, I'll add 21, this back, plus 21 for front part, and plus the sides. We'll measure the sides, measure it inside, not outside, because outside you have these extra seams. It will be bigger, this size will be bigger than you need, so you measure it 9 centimeters multiplied by 2, so we have 42 plus 18, 60 centimeters. We divide it by 2, and then we get 30 plus 3 centimeters seam allowance. That for the seams on the sides, 33 centimeters. So we need to make it roughly this shape. Here it will be 33 centimeters, here it will be 24 centimeters. Height we will measure now. It's really easy. Height you can measure even like this, from the beginning where you're going to sew in the lining, and then go down till the bottom, on the bottom, and then here along the bottom and along the front part I have 41 centimeter. So here I will write it down. The height is 41 centimeter. Also you need to divide it by 2 because we'll make it made of 2 pieces. We made a back and front part. Now we have to divide it by 2 and it will be 20.5 centimeters plus 3 centimeters for the seam allowance, of course. 23.5. So here we make such a trapeze shape where the height will be 23.5 centimeters. So this pattern I'm going to make on the fabric. I'm not going to make special paper pattern. Just make sure that you have 24 centimeters on top, 33 centimeters below. Here on the bottom it will be a little bit wider than you need, but here we will cut the corners so it will be exactly the size we need. So now I'll show you how I do the lining. So here is my fabric that I'm going to use for lining. I will then iron it, of course, because before I sew it, so just now we need a ruler, some pencil, we put it on the wrong side. And first you need to find the height of the lining. Here, this one, 23.5 approximately. Mark it. So that's your height. Now you need to measure the 33 centimeters. So I have only 30, but I will add 1.5 on each side. And 1.5 centimeter on this side, exactly here and here. So this is the center. Now I will draw a line upwards from the center, from the bottom line upwards. I hope that you can see my pencil drawing. Now we need to make 24 centimeters here. That will be 12 centimeters on each side of the ruler from the center, here and here. And that's it. Now you just need to draw this shape slightly around it. So here you make it approximately like this. This is one part. Now I will cut it, put it to the next piece of fabric and make one more just like this. Put it on the other piece of fabric, trace it and cut it. So I have cut the pieces for the lining. I have ironed them. So what do we do first? First we make the upper edge. We fold it 1.5 centimeter approximately. I usually use such sewing needles here. And so I put this pins, yeah, sewing pins, yeah, sewing pins, so that they just hold the fabric in place and you can make a seam. On one side and on the other side. If you have some label, some tag, you want to add it, so you add it here to one of the parts here. So you make this seam and then you just center it and find a place for the label. So let's meet when you have done these seams. So I have made these 2 seams and I have added my tag. So put it now right sides facing each other like this, and make seams here on the sides, on one side and on the other side. You can also put several pins, and below also you can make first sides, then bottom. To make it easier, also pin it in place with some sewing pins. So make these 3 seams and we'll meet, and then I'll show you how to make the corners. So I have made these 3 seams. Now we need to make the corners for the lining. I have 9 centimeters width of the bottom. I remember when I was taking measurements, the bottom was 9 centimeters. So here you see this width on the bottom. So I will open the corner like this, make a triangle out of it. So you see here, we need to open the corner like this. Make sure that it's straight. I usually make this and these seams matching in the middle, then it will be right in the middle here. And make a seam that is 9 centimeters here. So mark it, measure it first, and then mark it. 9 centimeters will be exactly here on one side, and likewise on the other side. Like this. So measure 9 centimeters here as well. So we have made these corners, and now our lining is ready. We just need to insert it into the back. So let's draw it into the bag, spread it nicely inside. Yeah, you see, it's just wonderful. I have this satin textile, it's really nice fabric. So now we need to sew it here along the edge. If you have a tag, then you of course place it here and start sewing from the middle so that it stays in the middle. If you don't have, you can start it on the corner here. So put it the way you like it. Make sure it's okay. And I'll show you how I sew the lining in, which makes it absolutely invisible. So now I'll show you the principle. I make the first stitch into the bag, and I have fixed the thread. in the base. Now I make a tiny stitch right into the top of this fabric. So it may seem difficult, but then when you get used to it, it's really easy. So you pierce it right here on top, and then you pierce it back like this and back. Make about 5 millimeters step, and now you sew it to the base. You can pierce it right through because it's easy to pierce this cord. Then come back a little bit later. Just make sure that here you insert the needle almost where you have put it out, so that you don't see the stitches on the outside. But here in the inside you make a little step further. Again, pierce it through the lining. Through the lining. Again, here you pierce it, make the tiniest stitch on this side, pierce it back. Here is boucle because it's a little bit difficult to show you on camera. Here, come back with a little step further, like in the diagonal you pierce it, and insert it again into the very top of the fabric. And so like this, you follow the perimeter of the lining. Make sure here you spread the corners nicely, follow the same line, of course, so it's on one level. And we'll meet at the end when the bag will be absolutely ready. So I have sewn the lining and just make several more stitches. And here you need to fix the thread somewhere. I usually don't make knots, I just pierce it several times back and forth into the base of the bag, here and there, and cut, and it will remain there. Okay, I think that will do. Now I can cut the thread. So the lining is sewn in and the bag now is ready. Thing looks nice with such bag. Bag is ready. So what you can do now, if you want, first of all, if you like, you can add a bag lock, but then you have to insert the bag lock first and make the boucle trimming later, because now it's impossible to add a bag lock. Then if you want to make a long strap, and I think it's a good idea to add a long strap, here you can add several lobster clasps, and here you will attach the chain for the shoulder strap. Yeah, this handle also can be thinner, thicker, you can make it, or you can make it without it as well. If, for example, you make a shoulder strap or a chain, then you don't need this one. So here it's up to you how you make it. You can try, experiment, and upgrade it as you like. So now our bag is ready. I think it looks really festive and wintry for the winter season. So I wish you much joy while making this bag, and I'm sure that it will be wonderful. So if you have questions, you can just contact me, and see you in our next master classes. That was Oksana Rudko. See you. Bye.